In an age where a glowing screen often commands more attention than the person across the table, we are witnessing a quiet but profound shift in human interaction. This book presents a compelling case that our retreat into digital communication is not a simple upgrade to conversation, but a fundamental downgrade of our humanity. The author argues that face-to-face dialogue is not a nostalgic relic, but a biological and psychological necessity. It is the primary workshop where we forge empathy, develop self-awareness, spark creativity, and build the resilient bonds that define our lives. By substituting texts for talks and likes for listening, we are not just changing how we communicate, we are impoverishing who we are. The problem begins with the very presence of our devices. Studies reveal that even a silent phone on a table between two people makes the conversation more superficial, as the possibility of interruption looms. This fractures the sacred space of shared attention, the bedrock of any meaningful exchange. Digital communication, from texting to video calls, inherently lacks the full spectrum of human cues, the fleeting micro-expressions, the tone of voice, the comfortable silences, that convey true understanding and emotional resonance. The consequence is measurable. Research indicates a sharp decline in empathy among young people, a generation raised with a device in hand. We are trading deep connection for the thin gruel of constant, low-stakes contact. This erosion extends inward, to our relationship with ourselves. True solitude, time for uninterrupted reflection, is being systematically eliminated by the endless scroll. We mistake being alone online for being with ourselves, but they are not the same. Solitude is where we process our experiences, discover our own thoughts, and cultivate an inner life. Without it, we risk becoming performers, shaping our identities for an online audience rather than engaging in honest self-reflection. The author notes the troubling trend of people feeling they need to share an emotion online to actually feel it, outsourcing their inner world to a digital validation economy. Creativity, too, suffers. It requires the mind to wander without an immediate stimulus to react to, a state our devices constantly disrupt. Nowhere is the impact more critical than in the family. Children learn conversation, empathy, and emotional regulation through the attentive, back-and-forth dance with their caregivers. A parent glancing at a phone during a child's story or a question is not just missing a moment, they are interrupting a developmental process. Pediatric studies show that distracted parenting can lead children to emotionally withdraw, hindering their capacity for connection. The dynamic shifts with teenagers, who may reject parental overtures while simultaneously craving their undivided attention. The author finds that even adolescents who protest rules like no phones at dinner are secretly grateful for the enforced space of family conversation, a testament to their deep, unmet need for it. Our social lives are being rewritten by new, often unspoken, rules. Friendship is increasingly measured by the ability to amuse or provide instant digital response, rather than by trust, kindness, or enduring care. Young people describe feeling on call, a 24/7 availability that replaces depth with bandwidth. Texting feels relaxed because it allows for careful self-editing and avoids the vulnerability of a voice or a face, but in this safety, authenticity is lost. We curate personas and manage impressions, building networks that can feel vast but support systems that feel thin. The realm of romance has been particularly transformed, and not always for the better. Online dating platforms, with their illusion of infinite choice, often lead to less satisfaction, not more. The psychological paradox of choice means an overwhelming array of options can paralyze us and make us doubt our selections. Furthermore, digital interactions train us in detachment. The acceptable practice of ghosting, simply ceasing to reply, would be unthinkably cruel in person. This conditions us to see people as disposable profiles, swiping away the patience and empathy required to build a real, lasting attachment. The invasion of digital distraction is complete in our workplaces and classrooms. The myth of multitasking is debunked. What we call multitasking is actually rapid task switching, which degrades the quality of our work, increases stress, and fractures our focus. In meetings and lectures, the open laptop or phone creates a culture of divided attention, where no one is fully present. The result is a decline in collaborative genius, the kind that sparks from a group's undivided engagement with a problem. Learning itself is compromised, as deep reading and complex thought are sacrificed for skimming and fragmented information intake. Finally, the public sphere suffers. Online political discourse often rewards performative outrage and simplistic takes over nuanced, empathetic debate. The constant stream of information can lead to a sense of helplessness rather than empowered action, threatening civic engagement. Our privacy, the boundary necessary for a sense of self, is eroded by surveillance and the pressure to perpetually share. Yet, this diagnosis is not a counsel of despair. By understanding what we are losing, we see clearly what we must reclaim. The challenges posed by digital media serve as a mirror, revealing our fundamental human needs, for attention, for vulnerability, for reflective solitude, and for authentic, embodied connection. The path forward is not about rejecting technology, but about reclaiming our agency over it. It is about designing sacred spaces, at dinner tables, in classrooms, in our own daily routines, where conversation is protected. It is about having the courage to be bored, to be alone with our thoughts, and to look another person in the eye, without a screen as a mediator. To reclaim conversation is to reclaim an essential piece of our humanity, one dialogue at a time.